Yeah, we about to wipe the fog off the mirror, so you can see his reflection a little more clearer. When it comes to life, everybody got their own objectives, but we got to view Christ through the right perspective. Yeah, we about to wipe the fog off the mirror, so you can see his reflection a little more clearer. When it comes to life, everybody got their own objectives, but we got to view Christ through the right perspective.
Through the right perspectives, yeah.
Yeah, through the right perspectives. Yeah, we got to view Christ through the right perspectives.
Through the right perspectives, yeah.
Through the right perspectives. Yeah, we got to view Christ through the right perspectives.
Greetings and welcome to another Perspectives. This is Pastor Jay. Today we're going to talk about the subject that is near and dear to my heart, and that is the spirit of excellence. Now, those that know me know that I use that phrase whenever I'm dealing with situations where something is not done well that is supposed to be presented by a ministry, a Christian artist, or something like that. It's my firm belief that as Christians, we need to always present the very best for God. And so that's why I'm constantly seeking to improve what I'm doing. I'm constantly trying to see how we can do things better. But for Christian churches, it is vital that we catch up with the 21st century. We've been used to doing things a certain way for so long that the world has outdistanced us when it comes to putting things out. What I mean by that is whenever you're doing a program at your church, make sure that you have good advertising. Make sure that if you do a flyer, that is done by a graphic designer. And I think I've touched on this in the past, but you don't really have to get out and pay big money for graphic designers if you take the time to invest in the young people in your church who have a passion for that sort of thing. You have to make sure that in all things you're doing it well for Christ. And there is no reason for the world to be outdistancing the church when it comes to promotional items for different things like flyers and even how your church looks. As Christians, we believe that the church is the house of God. So there's no reason that the pastor or any of the members' house should look better than the house of God. And so we need to learn how to come together, pool our resources in a manner that allows us to put the very best foot forward when it comes to our Christian presentation of the gospel. This also means, pastors, that we need to work on how we present ourselves to those who are non-believers. This means that when we're in public forums, we have to make sure that we are dressed well and that we're representing Christ well. I'm not saying that I'm buying into the prosperity gospel, which says that if you become Christian, you're going to be rich. That's not what the Bible teaches. But what I am saying is that if you claim that Jesus owns the cattle on 1,000 hill and that you're one of his children, you're not going to go out looking raggedy for Christ. I mean, think of it this way. You don't allow your children, at least I hope not, to leave the house without checking them to make sure that they are representing your name well. So why are you out representing God's name without using that same type of careful inspection? Now, this again applies to many areas, but specifically the areas that I have issues with is when churches put out bad flyers, when churches don't invest in the equipment to be able to do public ministry outside of the four walls. What I mean by this is you're not putting together a good media center. You're not putting out good quality in your sound system. You're not doing the things that are equal or better than the world when it comes to presenting the gospel to those outside the four walls. Now, I know we're used to doing church any old way, and we use the excuse, well, you know, God's Spirit is upon it. And so however we do it, we don't have to sing well. We just have to make a joyful noise. Now, that's all well and good at your church service. But when you're taking the gospel outside of those four walls, you need to make sure that you have the best singers, the best presenters. Make sure people are up front that are able to represent Christ well. But even in your weekly church service, you should be striving for a spirit of excellence. Make sure that you have people in positions that are working within their gifts, because when you put people up there and you have visitors come in, it turns them away. I know many people that have gone from church to church because they were dissuaded by what they saw up front. They couldn't believe from what they had read in the Bible and what they understood our God to be, that these were good representations of Christ. Remember, in the beginning, God made everything, and at the end, he said, it is good. If you're not able to take what you're putting out to the public and measure it up against the world and say it is good, then you are not operating in the spirit of excellence. And I want to challenge us all to take that step, do what's necessary to make sure we are representing Christ well. And when we do that, you will see an amazing growth in your community, especially among young adults and young people, because no young person wants to go from watching something on BET that's produced well to coming to a church that's disorganized. So I encourage us all as ministers of the gospel to operate in a spirit of excellence. God deserves that much from us. This has been Perspectives with Pastor Jay. As always, we invite you to visit our website, iampastorjay.com, as well as trulyblessedmedia.com. And if there's a way that we can help be a blessing to your ministry, please visit trulyblessedcommunications.com and then email us and let us know how we can help you. Thank you for tuning in. See you next week.
Yeah, we bout to wipe the fog off the mirror so you can see his reflection a little more clearer. When it comes to life, everybody got their own objectives, but we got to view Christ through the right perspective. Yeah, we bout to wipe the fog off the mirror so you can see his reflection a little more clearer. When it comes to life, everybody got their own objectives, but we got to view Christ through the right perspective.
Through the right perspectives, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.